James Prescott Joule was a man from England who lived a long time ago. He was born in 1818. From a very young age, James was curious about the world around him. He asked many questions and loved to find out how things worked. His family was rich, so he could study and explore many things. He worked hard to learn about science, even though he did not go to a big school like some other scientists. Instead, he learned from books and did experiments at home. James was very interested in energy. Energy is what makes things move or work. He wanted to understand how energy worked and where it came from. At the time, people knew very little about energy, and many ideas about energy were not correct. James wanted to change that. He began to do experiments to learn more about energy. One of his most important experiments was about heat. Heat is a type of energy, and it was something James wanted to understand better. He thought that heat might be connected to something else, like motion. To find out, James decided to try a simple experiment. He took a big metal wheel and put it in water. He then used a machine to turn the wheel, making it spin. As the wheel spun, it warmed up the water. James noticed that the faster the wheel spun, the hotter the water became. This made him think that motion could change into heat. James wanted to test this idea more. So, he did many experiments where he used different machines and different materials to see if motion could always make heat. His experiments showed that this idea was true. Motion could turn into heat, and heat could turn into other forms of energy. This discovery was important because it helped people understand more about energy. This discovery also showed that energy could not be created or destroyed. It could only change from one form to another. This idea is called the law of conservation of energy. James's work did not stop there. He continued to do experiments about energy, heat, and motion. He also worked with other scientists to learn more about how energy worked. One of the things James learned was that different materials can hold heat in different ways. Some materials, like metals, can hold heat very well, while others, like wood or plastic, do not hold heat as well. James's experiments helped scientists understand these differences better. Another important thing James worked on was the relationship between heat and electricity. Electricity is another form of energy, and James wanted to understand how it worked. At the time, people knew electricity could make things move, like when it powered machines. But they didn't know much about how it worked with heat. James did many experiments with electricity, and found out that when electricity flows through a wire, it can make the wire heat up. This was another important discovery in the study of energy. James's work made him famous. Other scientists started to pay attention to his experiments. They saw that he had many important ideas about energy, and they wanted to know more about his discoveries. In 1849, James gave a big talk about his work at a meeting of scientists. In his speech, he told them about his experiments and the ideas he had learned. The scientists were very impressed by his work. They saw that James had helped make many things clearer, especially how different types of energy work together. One of James's most important ideas was that the energy in the world is always the same. It does not disappear or appear out of nowhere. Instead, energy changes from one form to another, like when a machine turns electricity into motion or heat. This was very important because it helped other scientists understand how energy works in many different situations. James was also interested in helping people understand how to use energy better. He thought that people could use energy in more efficient ways. For example, he believed that people could make machines that worked better and wasted less energy. His ideas about energy efficiency helped people improve many types of machines and tools, which made life easier for everyone. Despite his many important discoveries, James did not always receive the recognition he deserved during his life. Not many people knew about him, even though his work helped other scientists make great discoveries. But as time went on, people started to understand how important James's work had been. Today, we remember him for his discoveries about energy, heat, and electricity. Many things we know about energy today are based on his ideas. The unit used to measure energy is called a joule in his honor. This is a small way to remember how much he changed our understanding of the world. James Prescott Joule died in 1889, but his work continues to help scientists today. His discoveries were so important that many things in science and technology are named after him. The unit used to measure energy is called a joule in his honor. This is a small way to remember how much he changed our understanding of the world. James Prescott Joule may have lived a long time ago, but his work still helps us today. His curiosity, hard work, and love of science made him one of the most important scientists of his time. He showed the world that energy is always around us, changing from one form to another, and he helped us understand how to use it more wisely. Today, we can thank him for many of the discoveries about energy that we use every day. His work helped us to understand the world in new and exciting ways.